The Smiths had lived in their cozy suburban home for over 5 years. They thought they knew everyone on the block, but there was one neighbor who remained a mystery to them all: Mr. Jenkins. He kept to himself and never seemed to venture out of his house unless absolutely necessary. The family would occasionally catch glimpses of him tending to his garden or mowing his lawn, but that was about it. They had tried to strike up conversations with him on multiple occasions, only to be met with a curt hello before he quickly retreated back inside. As the days went by, strange occurrences began to plague the Smiths' household. Doors would slam shut on their own, and the sound of faint whispering could be heard in the dead of night. At first, they dismissed it as mere coincidence or the work of a mischievous spirit, but soon the events grew more frequent and intense. One fateful evening, Emily, the eldest child, decided to confront Mr. Jenkins about the strange happenings. She approached his house with trepidation, her heart racing in anticipation. As she peered through the window, she saw him sitting at a desk, surrounded by stacks of dusty books and papers. His eyes seemed to gleam with an otherworldly intensity as he scribbled furiously on a piece of paper. Suddenly, his head snapped up, and their gazes met for a fleeting moment before he quickly looked away, muttering something incoherent under his breath. Emily felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that Mr. Jenkins was not just an ordinary neighbor but the source of all the terror that had been plaguing their home. And now, it seemed, he knew they were onto him. Mrs. Jenkins had lived in the house on Elm Street for over 20 years. She knew every face that passed by her window, but there was one neighbor who remained a mystery to her. Mr. Smith's family moved out when she was still getting used to having someone new around. As time went by, Mrs. Jenkins noticed subtle changes in the way people reacted whenever they saw him. They would quickly look away or hastily return inside their homes as if trying not to catch his eye. Some even claimed to have seen strange lights flickering at Mr. Smith's house on nights when he was home alone. Mrs. Jenkins couldn't help but wonder what could be causing such an eerie atmosphere around her enigmatic neighbor. She tried talking to him once, but the conversation ended abruptly as if someone had interrupted from behind a door that wasn't there. When she asked one of his neighbors about Mr. Smith's past, they hesitated before whispering something about the incident and how it left everyone shaken. One stormy night, Mrs. Jenkins decided to confront her curiosity once more. She stood at the window, watching as rain pounded against the panes like a relentless drumbeat. Suddenly, she saw Mr. Smith standing in his front yard, illuminated only by flashes of lightning that seemed to dance around him. His eyes locked onto hers for an instant before he vanished into thin air. The small town of Willow Creek was never the same after Mr. Jenkins moved in next door to Emily's family. At first, everyone thought he seemed like a nice enough man, friendly and courteous, always willing to lend a helping hand or offer words of encouragement. But as time went on, people began to notice that there was something off about him. It started with small things: the way Mr. Jenkins would stare at Emily's family for extended periods of time, his eyes lingering on their faces like he was trying to memorize them. Or how he'd always seem to be watching from behind a window or peeking out from behind a curtain when they were outside playing in their yard. At first, Emily thought it was just her imagination running wild, but as the days went by and these incidents continued, she began to feel like Mr. Jenkins was somehow watching them. One night, Emily's parents sat down with her to discuss what had been going on. They told her that they'd noticed some strange things too: how Mr. Jenkins would always seem to be in his yard at exactly the same time every day, and how he never seemed to leave his house unless absolutely necessary. Her mother even mentioned a rumor she'd heard from another neighbor, that Mr. Jenkins had been living alone for years, ever since his wife passed away. Emily's parents told her it was probably just an old man who liked to keep to himself, but deep down they were worried. As the days went by and Mr. Jenkins continued to watch them, Emily began to feel like she was losing herself in a sea of paranoia. She started to wonder if maybe he wasn't as harmless as everyone thought. What if he had some kind of dark secret? One night, when her parents were out for dinner, Emily decided to take matters into her own hands and snoop around Mr. Jenkins' house. As she crept up the path and peered through his window, she saw something that made her blood run cold, a room filled with old photographs, all of them showing people who looked uncannily like her family members. And in the center of it all, a single photograph of Emily herself, staring back at her from across the room. Suddenly, Mr. Jenkins' friendly demeanor didn't seem so harmless after all.